Late Night Health continues. This is a fun conversation. Rabbi Daniel Cohen, the author of What Will They Say About You When You Were Gone? Creating a Life of Legacy. Rabbi, when somebody is ill, a friend of mine was just diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Now, she is going to fight it because she is a fighter. But when you know that now your days are numbered, and we never know. When you're 20 years old, your life is endless. I mean, you just don't think about it. When you're 50 years old, you're starting to lose friends, family members. It's a different point of view. How do you think about creating a life of legacy when you're scratching to stay here on this plane?
I think that it all depends on how you see the word legacy. And a legacy isn't necessarily, this huge foundation or heroic act that may be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's really about the day-to-day things that you do. And the last principle of the book is called Discover Your Renewable Energy. Just think for a moment, if Moses retired at 80, the Jews never would have gone out of Egypt. I mean, he could have been sitting in Florida, collecting Social Security, but every day that we're here is an opportunity. And I was inspired by a story. I spoke in Florida a couple of months ago, and a woman came over to me and said, I want to tell you about my husband who had passed away. We were vacationing in Salt Lake City, and he got sick, and he went to the hospital there. And when I went back to the hospital, for whatever reason, people told me, we loved having your husband here. He made such a difference. And she asked them why. And she said, well, your husband, whenever anybody came into his room, whether it was somebody cleaning the room, a nurse, a doctor, a therapist, he'd always give them a blessing and say that God should bless them. Now, here's a man who was cooped up in his hospital bed, and you could think, well, what is he going to do? What kind of legacy is he going to leave? There are people that are to take care of him. But he was able to find it within himself to follow the words of Solomon, who says, life and death are in the hand of the tongue, to give a blessing, to bring a little light to somebody's day. And I think those are the opportunities that we need to celebrate and motivate people, because that makes a big difference.
But I'm trying to get my hands around, my arms around, being told you've got 6 months left to live.
So what I would say, again, it's interesting, I spend a lot of time with people at the end of life, been with people at the end of life, and, I think those moments can either be haunting or those moments can be quite comforting, depending upon the life that a person led. I would say 95% of the time, nobody necessarily obviously is, oh, wow, I'm dying, but there is this sense that if you've done your best, and I try to encourage people and have them think about that, with those that you've loved, success in life and meaning in life isn't about necessarily a destination, but it's more about how you treated the journey. Nobody's perfect, but I think it's important to encourage people and give them comfort in those moments. But you're 100% correct. I mean, those moments can be very frightening, because if somebody really only has a few months to live, and they feel they have to make up for a lot of lost time, again, there's still things they can do, but you're 100% correct. It's not easy, which is kind of, I guess, one of the points is like, don't wait. Just try to make it happen today, because we never know what will be our last day.
We don't. I mean, it's why as parents, even though our kids are grown and out of the house, you still worry about them.
Yep.
Because you never know. You could go, they could go.
Yep.
God forbid, but that happens. How would you say creating a life of legacy affects one's health?
I would say tremendously. I mean, there's no question, again, within the Jewish faith, and I'm sure it's in many faiths, that there's a intrinsic connection between physical health and spiritual health, peace of mind, an inner sense of feeling really connected. And I think that, when we say the special prayer when somebody is ill, we ask for not only healing of the body, but a healing of the spirit, because we do believe that there's a connection between what's in your mind and the way you're going to recover. So I think when somebody feels that their life has meaning and purpose and they're being a source of blessing, it definitely affects their health and gives them a sense, by the way, not only that it affects their health, but I think they're more motivated to take care of themselves because they know that there's so much more for them to accomplish. They don't feel they're wasting their life. So there's no question that it's connected.
And the prayer is called the Mishuberet.
You got it. I wasn't sure. You're right. Mishuberet. Yep.
Right. And it's something that it's an act of love to somebody you love. To me,
for sure,
to ask for a special blessing like that.
Yeah, and I think we shouldn't underestimate, by the way, for those that are listening, to somebody that you do care about, telling them that God should, we say in Hebrew, refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf, the healing of the spirit, the healing of the body, that they're going to be taken care of, that God's watching over them, and it definitely lifts them up. In fact, in the Talmud, it says that when you visit somebody and share a good word, it takes away a 60th of their illness. It literally says that.
Wow. Rabbi, we'll have to do this again. We'll do this, I promise. Rabbi Daniel Cohen has been our guest. What will they say about you when you are gone, creating a life of legacy? Rabbi, hold on a second so we can talk in a moment. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk with a father and son team that have created a new company. We'll be talking about that as Late Night Health continues, and we'll start celebrating Father's Day. Don't go away. Late Night Health moves forward. Thanks, Daryl.